Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're having a lovely Friday morning. Today I would like to discuss the recall of the Onewheel electric skateboard. I've gone over the Onewheel many times on this channel over the past 2 years, and this is going to be probably my last video on the topic since I've been a bit of a broken record here. I went over the original announcement of the Onewheel recall about last year in this 20-minute video with a Onewheel expert, Josh Haley, that I highly suggest you listen to if you're interested in this. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a summary of all the issues over the past 2 years. So the first thing is because I see a lot of comments and a lot of forums and a lot of news articles going, this doesn't really explain the issue. Can somebody explain what is actually being recalled for and what this device is? So that's a great question. The Onewheel electric skateboard is what you see over here. You have one wheel and you're going to put your left foot here, right foot there, or vice versa. And this skateboard is going to do two things. The first thing it is going to do, it is going to balance you. The motor in this device and the little computer in this device is going to try its best to keep you balanced. You are on one wheel. You're not on a skateboard with four wheels. So something has to balance you. Now, you may be able to balance yourself if you were really good at it, but when you're going 20 miles an hour and maneuvering around things, that's a meme. You need the skateboard to do the balancing for you, and the motor and the electronics in it is going to do that for you. The second thing the skateboard is going to do is it is going to propel you either forwards or backwards. You get to choose. Do you want to go this way or that way? So the motor is responsible for two things: balancing you, moving you forward. Now, this motor has a finite amount of energy and it has a finite amount of force. It's only going to be able to move you forward so fast before it runs out of power to balance you. So if you go so fast that you've used up all the energy in this device to the point where you have no energy left to balance yourself, you're probably going to eat shit. So what's going to happen at that point is instead of you riding like this, it is going to lose balance. It's going to do this. The front side, or the side that you're moving, is going to hit the pavement, and then you are going to get tossed off of it as it stops moving. And that's probably going to be very painful for you. Now, what they've implemented for experienced riders, and even novice riders actually, to avoid this is something called pushback. When you are approaching the limit of the device, it is going to start pushing back so that oh crap, I'm reaching the limit. I should probably slow down so I don't eat shit. And that is something that I've discussed with Josh Haley with regards to the first recall. The second serious safety issue that you have with this particular product is not so much a user error issue, because again, in order for you to eat shit with this device, you really do have to be ignoring pushback. It's going to push back. It's going to tell you are using too much power. You're going to physically feel that, and you have to ignore that and keep going in order for you to actually dismount yourself from the skateboard. The second issue with this, which I believe is actually the manufacturer's fault, this is a serious defect, is something called ghosting. Ghosting is something that occurs when you dismount the skateboard and it decides with no user on it, it's going to continue moving forward anyway. And I covered one of those cases here where you can see somebody got off of their Onewheel GT and the skateboard decided, I'm just going to keep moving. And it moved forward at full speed and smashed a lady across the street who is being treated by an ambulance technician. This is an actual technical issue with the product. This is not user error in the opinion of myself and many other Onewheel experts. This same Onewheel that does this, the Onewheel GT, which is the newest model, also just so happens to use concave foot pads versus the flat foot pads that they have been using for every other model, where this is not really an issue. So the first thing that I find interesting about this recall is it doesn't seem to cover the actual technical issues with the product. It seems to cover the part that's, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others, user error, as Josh Haley went over here. I'm just going to play what he said because it literally doesn't get any better than this.
I agree with you. I very much think that the CPSC is going after the wrong thing here. What they're complaining about seems to violate physics, right? You have a set amount of power in that board, and if you, the user, choose to overpower that board, you're going to potentially hurt yourself as you go over the front of it. So the fix for that isn't add more power to the board. It's better inform the consumer of the risks that they're taking on when purchasing and riding one of these devices.
Now, in the recall, it says that what they should be doing is have some sort of haptic feedback that in order to let you know when you're about to run out of energy. When you look through the recall notice they have here and you search for the word haptic, you'll see that it says that they are going to update the firmware on the board to include a haptic buzz alert functionality. Haptic buzz is a tactile and audible warning system that provides the rider with a buzzing sensation and sound when nearing the limits of the board or when in low battery or error states. And again, okay, that is an improvement. I'll agree that does seem like an improvement over the pushback that they had, but it seems to be ignoring the fact that this product from the very beginning was giving the user warning warning when they were overloading the power of the skateboard, which many people who have used it, who have tried to push it to the limit just to see what happens, will happily tell you. Another thing to understand here is that many of the people who have unfortunately died as a result of this happening to them were not only ignoring the pushback on the device, but they also were not wearing a helmet. I wear a helmet when I use my electric bike, and that has 2 wheels. I most certainly would be using a helmet if I am riding a 1 wheel more than 1 mile per hour. I did try a 1 wheel once without a helmet, and that is literally because I was riding the thing at less than 1 mile per hour because I am a sissy. But anytime I would be using this device and actually pushing the limits of it, you bet your ass that I'd be riding using a helmet. I value my life more than I value my hair. And again, it's one of these things where you're getting on a device that has 1 wheel that balances itself, going over 20 miles an hour. At some point, you really, in my opinion, you really do have to use a helmet, and that this is. There are lots of motorsports that have danger attached to them. I do not think all the devices should be recalled as a result of people ignoring the device's feedback and ignoring basic safety practices. Now, I'm not going to say that Future Motion is innocent here. If you watch some of their videos, they do not exactly encourage you to use this device in the most safe way possible. This is from Future Motion's own YouTube channel. This person is using the 1-wheel electric skateboard with their feet in the air. So again, it's not like this company is known for suggesting people give a crap about safety. He is wearing a helmet as he is literally riding the thing down the road with his hands on it. Now, that's not to say that there are no safety issues with the 1-wheel, nor that they are above criticism. If we look at their history over the years, again, ghosting. This is a serious issue that I think the 1-wheel GT should be recalled for. The 1-wheel Pint doesn't have the ghosting issue to the same extent. The 1-wheel XR does not have the ghosting issue to the same extent. Older 1-wheels do not have the ghosting issue to the same extent, but the GT does. And there is nothing included in this recall for ghosting, which is an actual technical issue that has nothing to do with user error. That is highly annoying. Further, there's nothing in the recall that has to do with the way the product is constructed, which we've gone over here on this channel many times. I mean, there's so many reasons to not buy a 1-wheel product, and I'd like to show you all of them today. Here is the wiring in the 1-wheel Pint X that they refuse to acknowledge as a flaw. If you go to pintxflaw.com, you can read back and forth with people at Future Motion where they really don't seem to want to acknowledge this as an actual problem, and you will see many pictures of these wiring flaws. This is garbage. This is horrible. This is garbage. This is horrible wiring. Every single device that has wiring like this should be replaced. If you are putting together a device that you know people are using for transportation, it's going to be moving around and things like this, there are methods to design the wiring harness so this doesn't happen to it. My electric bike, even the first one that I ever put together, does not look like this. Granted, thanks to Unipack Power and their lying, scummy, shitty batteries, I have had some issues with e-bike fires in the past, but point being, my wiring never looks like this. It should never look like that, and they are okay releasing a product like this. And when it is brought to their attention, they ignore, deflect, and don't care. Or we can look at the 1-wheel Pint, where you have connectors that look like this. This is a connector that is going to be used for providing power to the battery, and as you can see, this connector is starting to burn. And if you were to open up your 1-wheel Pint, you'd probably see the same thing, because they are using what looks like a laptop fan connector for a fucking vehicle battery charger, which is insane to me. It continues on and on. You have other devices where this nut just kind of falls off, and when it does fall off because of this crappy plastic grommet over here, it winds up shorting out a Bluetooth chip over there, which is just, again, not something that you want running around your skateboard. These are not particularly well-engineered devices, in my opinion, and when you bring up the flaws with them, as Josh Haley and I did in these 2 interviews, this is a 3-hour interview and this is a 2-hour interview, where you will genuinely learn everything there is to know about this product from somebody who's an absolute genius at it. There's a lot of issues with it, and most of those issues that are real, that are not user error, are not covered by this recall. The one thing that is covered by this recall is the one part that is user error. Ignoring pushback, not wearing a helmet, and then eating shit when the skateboard decides to toss you off of it. Make no mistake, Future Motion does not give 2 shits of a crap about your safety, and they never did. If they did, they would have acknowledged and fixed any of these issues for the people that were having them. They would have stopped selling the 1-wheel GT when people who were experienced riders said, hey, my 1-wheel GT did something that my XR and my Pint and my original never did, which is when I dismounted it, it ran 30 miles an hour into an old lady. That never happened on my old one. And hey, look, hundreds of other people are having the same problem. No, they didn't. They kept selling it. When people send pictures of 1-wheel wiring harnesses that look like they were completely destroyed and about to short all the wires together, they would have said, send it to us. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can fix it. it. Let's see if we can come up with a recall for this product. They did not. They don't care if that product is out there in the wild. They don't care if that product explodes out there in the wild, as long as they make more money. And they make more money when they don't cover design defects or flaws with their products. They don't care about your safety, and they never did. They have used safety as a justification for limiting repairability, but they never cared about your safety, and they likely never will. But two things can be true at the same time. This company can have many products with design flaws and not care about your safety, and this recall can also be something that is stupid because they don't actually cover a lot of those issues that are, in my opinion, way more important than the user error issue of people ignoring pushback and then face planting without a helmet. Again, my heart goes out to people who are injured and the people that died as a result of ignoring pushback and getting tossed off of the skateboard. That is a tragedy. Every death is a tragedy. I have made many mistakes over the course of my life. I will likely make many more mistakes into the future, and I hope that people are sympathetic when I make those mistakes, particularly if I injure myself in the process. But I think it's really important to separate the user error mistakes from the issues that are actually manufacturer defects when we are talking about things like recalls. And more importantly, above all else, I think it's really important to hold the manufacturer accountable and responsible for that which they actually did wrong. Future Motion has done many things wrong in the rollout of these products that are not put together well, not repaired well, and in many cases not manufactured well. And none of those issues are covered by this recall, proving again that the government and the consumer protection in our country is kind of a meme. The best part of that is my personal favorite part of this is if you have one of these products and you have one of the older ones where you can't get a firmware update to fix this, you don't get a new one, you don't get a refund, you get $100 of credit towards buying a new one. This is a $1,000, a $2,000 skateboard. I'm sorry, you're going to give me... So I'm supposed to throw away my old one, which you recalled. And your way of holding the company accountable is telling them they have to give me $100 towards the purchase of a new one, which still has the ghosting issue. They have not fixed that. They have not fixed ghosting on the Onewheel GT. So I have to throw away my product that does not ghost because if I ignore pushback, it may toss me off of it. So I have to throw away the product that has an issue only in the case of user error and replace that product with a product that has an issue because of bad technical design. And the best part of all that is you are going to give me a $100 coupon towards the purchase of that $2,000 product that has an issue that's not even fixed and covered by the recall? Are you fucking kidding me? This is an excellent case of the government being functionally useless and fixing the actual problem. The CPSC should be ashamed of themselves for creating a recall that completely ignores every single one of the problems with the actual product and focuses and hones in on the one part that is user error, and simultaneously for being so toothless that if you have an older product, they literally value that thing at only $100, which is considerably less money than that is selling for on eBay right now. That's bullshit. Last thing I want to cover with this video is the entire concept of safety and companies caring about your safety. With this product, many people have brought up repairability in the comments and they go, what does repairability have to do with safety? What does repairability have to do with any of this stuff? This company has said many times over the years, the reason that you shouldn't be able to replace your own battery, the reason we cannot make parts available to service centers, the reason that we don't even have service centers besides one service center for the company is your safety. You are too stupid to replace the battery in your product. And if you unplug the battery, it actually breaks the device. You are too stupid to do any of the work on this product yourself. We need to be the ones that do it because we care about your safety. And the question that I would pose over and over again is, if they care about your safety, why did Future Motion fight the recall for a year rather than just implement the haptic feedback into these devices last year? More importantly, if they care about your safety, why are they using these devices with concave foot pads versus the old flat foot pads that ghost more often? Why are they not responding to people that have essentially a fire hazard on wheels that they paid $1,000 for? Why are they releasing devices with connectors like this? And above all, why are none of those issues covered by the recall? This follows the old adage that every single time a company claims that they're taking away your freedom because they care about your safety, that company does not care about your safety nor your freedom. And apparently, as reading the CPSC warning, neither does your government. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Where do you think I'm wrong? Where do you think I'm right? And I would highly suggest that you take a listen to the comments of Josh Haley in this video if you are interested in learning more about this recall. And I would highly suggest that you listen to these two interviews that I did. This is a 3-hour interview, and this is a 2-hour, 24-minute long interview with very detailed timestamps going over every single thing that the CEO has yet to be held accountable for. This man is a genius. He is one of the smartest people I've met in my life. He's one of the most passionate people that I've met in my life. He has taken part in many projects where he has improved these products. He has made them better. Some he explains on video. Some he cannot explain on video because they're private products. But this is a man that genuinely cares about the craft. He genuinely cares about his profession. This is one of those 1 in 10,000 people that you meet that is really passionate about what they do, has made it their livelihood, and just wants to make it better for other people. So I'd highly suggest that you reach out to him if you have any questions, concerns about any of these products, if you want them repaired, modified in any way to be made better, or if you're just curious about them. He's a good dude. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now. Do you not have a cat that looks as adorable as Mr. Clinton? You can have the next best thing, which is a Schematics or Die t-shirt featuring Mr. Clinton the cat. Or you can get a mouse pad that says Schematics or Die featuring Clinton the cat. Or you can get a battery pack that says Schematics or Die, support the right to repair with Clinton the cat. Or you can get a Clinton the Cat microfiber cloth along with Honeywell UVEX cleaning spray that can be used to clean the screen of your phone or your eyeglasses or your laptop computer. Don't delay. Buy today. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something.